So, for the purposes of this breakdown, I'm going to assume that you've seen the previous episodes of Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Season 1 is based on the Hedge Knight, the first Duncan Egg story. It's a short story, only 125 pages, and only 6 pages actually left after the events of the end of episode 5, after the death of Baelor Breakspear. Looking at the trailer, it does look as though they're going to be padding it out, is hopefully not the right way to describe it. They're going to be spending a bit more time looking at the consequences of what's going on. For example, the first thing we see is Dunk talking about how Baelor died for him. And we see that he's talking to Lyonel Baratheon, who I don't think we see in the book after the Trial of Seven has finished. So Dunk is kind of blaming himself for Baelor's death, and Lyonel Baratheon is like, nah, don't worry about it. He says something really interesting, that Baelor didn't risk anything, that he fought against men sworn to protect him, which, yeah, Baelor's death is a bit weird in that respect. Nobody on his team wanted him to die. The Kingsguard were supposed to be protecting him, and his brother and his nephew were on the other team. So it does seem like something unusual happened at the Trial of Seven, perhaps. It took a very strange set of circumstances for Baelor to end up dead. After we see this chat with Lyonel, which is not in the book at all, as I say, after that chat with Lyonel, we move on to something that's basically taken straight from the book, it looks like. It's Baelor's funeral. His body is being burned according to Targaryen tradition. Obviously, they can't do it with a dragon, like we saw in House of the Dragon. We finally get to see Valar, Baelor's son, speak. And it looks like his line is basically just ripped from the book, which, why not? He says something like, "Why would the gods take him and leave you?" Which I think is one of the big questions of the Duncan Egg series, definitely. We also see a short scene with Egg, and Egg is holding a knife in his hand, and he looks like he's outside someone's bedroom. Maybe that's Aerion's bedroom, perhaps. So we know a couple of episodes ago, Egg told Daeron and Dunk and Rayman that Aerion would come in his room at night and threaten to take his manhood away. Egg is thinking of some revenge there, perhaps. Hopefully he doesn't go too far. Then we move back to Lyonel Baratheon again, and he says there's a war coming. Something like, we could be a force, you and I. So perhaps Lyonel is trying to recruit Dunk. We know from various books that these two do have some relationship in the future. If George R.R. Martin ever decides to actually write some more Duncan Egg stories, Dunk and Lyonel work together, which would be nice. We got a couple of scenes of them during this series. I'd be up for a Duncan and Lyonel alliance. That would be pretty interesting. Next, we see Dunk walking through the village. He's still kind of limping a bit after the trial, and we see him putting his arms around a guy. We don't know. We only kind of see him from behind. And while that's happening, he gets summoned. So Prince Maekar demands a word, I think they say. So this is similar to the books, in that he has a conversation with Maekar, but it's also different. In the books, Maekar goes to see Dunk at Dunk's camp, and here Dunk goes to the castle to meet Maekar. Apparently Egg is being very obstinate. Maekar wants Egg to be a squire, but Egg will only squire for Duncan. Dunk says that he's done with princes. And finally, we see Dunk and Egg sitting together, Egg expressing his disappointment that Dunk is maybe not the knight that he's looking for. We also get a shot of Egg in travelling clothes as well, almost like he's wearing denim jeans, it looks, in one particular shot. So egg sandwiches and denim jeans, that's kind of a bit strange, but I can kind of live with it. So there we are, just one more episode to go, and that's the trailer. So it looks like they're going to give everyone, Aerion and Rayman and Lyonel and Maekar, everyone's going to deal with the fallout a little bit. For the moment, at least, it looks like George R.R. Martin has good relationships with the showrunners for Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Hopefully this extra stuff that goes beyond the book will be really nice, will kind of fill out the world a little bit. Thanks for watching.